It was at the end of the great historical debate in the Royal Albert Hall, London, on the 7th of July 1985, between Professor Floyd E. Clark of the United States of America and Mr. Ahmed Deedat of South Africa, that Dr. Shorrosh confronted Mr. Deedat for the first time during the question and answer session at the aforementioned meeting on the subject, "Was Christ crucified?" This liberated Palestinian, now a citizen of the United States, well-spoken and immaculately dressed, was easily mistaken for a Pakistani. Now listen to his well-articulated English and still more eloquent Arabic at question time and Mr. Deedat's reply.
I would like to say that I am grateful for this opportunity, and my questions are actually two. Number one, if the Quran is indeed from God, does it contradict itself in as much as it says,
okay,
therefore Jesus was born, he died, and he rose again? The second question, if God...
I'm sorry. The rules of the game is to ask one question and get the back so that other people will have a chance.
Right.
Thank you. Now the question is directed to Mr. Deedat. Mr. Deedat.
Thank you.
The verse in question is وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيَّ يَوْمَ وُلِدْتُ وَيَوْمَ أَمُوتُ وَيَوْمَ أُبْعَثُ حَيًّا, which translated means, so peace is on me the day that I was born, the day that I die, and the day that I shall be raised to life again. The day that I die, it is not that I died. It's not died, it's in the future.
Mr. Deedat did not know during his lecture tour of Britain that he was being followed. Subsequently, at the end of one of his lectures in the City Hall of Birmingham, during question time, which is one of the regular features at every lecture of Mr. Deedat, Dr. Shorrosh came forward to challenge Mr. Deedat to a public debate. Fortunately, in this advanced electronic age, we were able to capture Dr. Shorrosh on video to reproduce for you this historical record.
I greet you in love and respect. You have spoken eloquently and forcefully, but I want to challenge you anywhere in the world to meet me and debate any topic you get with, because you have given these people, whom I respect as knowledgeable people, misinformation, and as an Arab, I take great pride in saying that our great prophet is a great man indeed. But my question is, following the chairman's suggestion, is would you be willing to meet with me, sir, anywhere in the world?
If you've got any questions,
this is the question. This is the question.
Brother, if you will just identify yourself as to who you are.
Shorrosh, a Palestinian Arab who is one of 10 million Arabs who claim the Christian faith as their faith and are proud to say that Islam is in reality a branch of the Christian faith and a sect, not a religion of its own.
Right. Thank you very much. Dear brother, I still haven't got the name, it doesn't matter. Anis. Sounds more Pakistani in name, Anis. However, Brother Anis, I accept your challenge. And I'm giving you a blank check to hire the Royal Albert Hall. On the subject, you can choose, I give them to you. We have already discussed the crucifixion, and we don't want to bore the people with the same thing again and again. You can choose subject like, is Jesus God? Is Jesus God? Because I know the Christians, I don't know whether you are one of those, but the Christians as a whole, they believe that Jesus Christ is God incarnate. Is Jesus God? Or is the Bible God's word? Or the truth about Trinity? Or Jesus, man, myth, or God? It's all being recorded. I think we can get a tape of that. I said, is Jesus God? Or is the Bible God's word? Or the truth about Trinity? Or the Jesus, man, myth, or God? No. then all of them, then you do, who book the hall for 4 or 5 days consecutive. No. It is you, my brother, you challenge me. You see, I paid for the Royal Albert Hall. An American, he was gentleman enough. He was gentleman enough to have a dialogue with me. For that, because I suggested to him, I paid for the hall, I advertised, once. Thank you very much. Right. Now, if I can have that in writing from you, before you go away from the hall, I would like to have this in writing from you, your name, address, and where you are, and then I can give you a date, any date that suits you in September, or after, you'll have to go after winter. September, because beautiful. So you hire the hall and you tell me, I will make it my duty, dead or alive, to be there. Dead or alive, I'll be there.
Note that during Mr. Deedat's acceptance of the Christian's challenge, Mr. Deedat had mistaken Dr. Shorrosh for a Pakistani. During the interchange of words in Birmingham, no connection was established between the challenger and the questioner of the Royal Albert Hall. Had it not been for the gift of this electronic wizard, the video, all the historical exchanges would have been lost to posterity. And without this audio-visual recording, we would never have been sure that the questioner of the Royal Albert Hall on the 7th of July and the challenger on the 15th of July were one and the same person. While still in the UK in July 1985, the topic for the debate, that is Jesus God, and the format and the tentative date were finalized between Dr. Shorrosh and Mr. Deedat. But in a letter dated the 14th of August 1985, Dr. Shorrosh changed the subject and also invented a new format. I quote, Point 3. The topic is Christ indeed the Son of God? Point 4, Part 3. First speaker, Mr. Ahmed Deedat, 50 minutes. Point 4, second speaker, Mr. Anas Shorrosh, 50 minutes. Point 5, second rebuttal, Mr. Deedat, 10 minutes. Point 6, second rebuttal, Dr. Shorrosh, 10 minutes. Point 7, final remarks, Mr. Deedat, 5 minutes. Point 8, final remarks, Dr. Shorrosh, 5 minutes. On the 1st of September, Mr. Deedat took Dr. Shorrosh to task for going back on his word. And I quote, I hope you received my telegram of even date. I regret very much your changing of the subject from Is Jesus God to an insipid topic like Is Christ indeed the Son of God? Topic. We debated this subject while both of us were in the UK, and we'd settled for Is Jesus God? A hard-hitting, succinct, potent and dynamic topic in contrast with your Is Christ indeed the Son of God? Why don't you believe that Jesus is God? If you don't, then we will change the subject. But you had agreed. Are you getting cold feet? You know that your format is patently unjust. Why not leave the format as agreed? In other words, that the first speaker, whoever he is, speak for 50 minutes, and the second speaker for 60 minutes, followed by the first speaker, who will have the final 10 minutes, same as between me and Dr. Clark. To appear just and fair, the chairman will toss a coin in front of the audience. You were absolutely tickled by this suggestion of mine on the phone. Have you forgotten this also? On the 18th of September 1985, Dr. Shorrosh finally agreed to the original subject to be debated, but he leaves the format in the air. As late as November the 15th, an unjust format is still being stubbornly mooted by